Wrath Classic DPS min-maxing is somehow just as degenerate as vanilla Classic was. Yeah, no, degenerate is the word. Degenerate is the proper word. Willie, how big is the Willie today? Let me see here.
When it came to min-maxing, vanilla was truly in a league of its own. World buffs that could increase the power of your character easily by over 30%, random level 20 or 30 something items which were bis forever, and stacking so many consumables you could hit the buff cap. And I thought after all that, the following expansions would have a lot less opportunity for these kind of interactions. And whilst TBC had one or two, it wasn't anything too noticeable. Wrath though, much to my surprise, has already had more new or unique class and spec interactions than we saw throughout the whole duration of TBC. Here I was expecting us to have the most solved version of World of Warcraft ever, what with it being so famous among fan server players, but no, even to this day new techniques are still being discovered. So today I'm going to talk you through some of the ways players are still finding opportunities to min-max their characters in this old game. I want to start off by having a bit of fun here, so if you watch a lot of WoW stuff, you'll probably know the answer to this, but it goes to show how plausible almost anything can be in this game. I'm going to go over 2 separate player discoveries to boost DPS. One of them is totally real and was hotfixed out of the game some 24 hours after becoming public knowledge, and the other one is a made-up meme on Reddit. See if you get the right one. First,
chat, if you ever discover an exploit that increases your DPS, do not tell a YouTuber. Don't even tell a streamer. Don't tell me about it. Because streamers and YouTubers, they're going to talk about it, they're going to make a video about it, and your shit is getting nerfed. Yeah, so if you have any, well, I mean, you should, okay, tell me, you should tell me, but don't tell any other, don't tell anyone else. You can tell me, we're boys, we're like that. I can, you guys can trust me, but other people, no fucking way, no way. Those guys are gonna talk. We're boys though. We're like that. We're cool. Yeah.
We have the Fire Warrior. So in Wrath, one of the changes to stats is there's no longer spell crit and melee crit. There's just a general crit stat. This means classes such as warriors, rogues, and hunters, who would usually not gain any benefit from spells critting because they didn't have any spell crit, now passively do. So how is this going to be of use to a warrior? Well, another pretty huge change which is really easy to overlook was made to the talent Deep Wounds. This adds a bleed effect after you crit. Now back in Classic and TBC, this bleed was based off the amount that your critical strike dealt. In Wrath now, it's based off your average weapon damage, and more importantly, adding crits doesn't just refresh the debuff, it refreshes it and stacks. So you really want to be critting as much as you possibly can. And it was found that Deep Wounds wasn't just proccing off physical effects, but also spells. This suddenly gives warriors an incentive to equip items that have a chance to inflict spell crits to keep the Deep Wounds stacking up. Here is where the Fire Warrior is born. Your best enchant went from berserking to now being fiery weapon instead, like you were some level 19 in a battleground. On top of that, a level 53 pair of gloves were dug up called Fiery Plate Gauntlets, which added +4 fire damage to your weapon, which is just another
Twitch Prime off.
Chat, crazy melee question, because I'm not a melee player. If you have access to Crusader enchant, like on a Twink or in vanilla, whatever, like, would you ever want Fiery? Like, if you can get Crusader, is there ever a reason to have Fiery? Or is Crusader just always better than Fiery? Always for leveling? Bro, you're saying Fiery is better for leveling than Crusader? Like, Crusader is pretty fucking good, bro. Crusader is worse while leveling? Huh? Really? Really? I don't know. Okay, hey, I guess.
chance to proc Deep Wounds. More of these gauntlets were probably made in a few days than ever have been in Classic before. So that was option 1. Does that sound like I've just made that up, or was it real? Well, here's the second discovery that was made. It's called Clam Weaving, and if you played a Death Knight, you had to be doing it. Discovered during the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch, this new technique boosted DK DPS so far above everyone else that something had to be done about it.
Yo, let me tell you guys something, like, you're not gonna believe this. Hold up, do we have any Blizzard employees here? Any Blizzard employees? No, okay. Yo, gotta make sure there's no fucking snitches around. Any snitches around? No, okay. Listen, you gotta try Power Gum Weaving. Get a hold of some Power Gum, use promo code Staysafe, get 5% off, buy some Power Gum. You're gonna chew Power Gum mid-raid. Get on some Power Gum Weaving type shit. Your DPS is gonna blow up, okay? insane. And Blizzard doesn't know about it. No one knows about it. So you need to start power gun weaving, and then you will really start pumping it. Yeah.
What was the deal here? Well, it turned out using a rather strange interaction between opening a container and a bug.
How do you weave power gum? You go like this. You get the gum, you chew it, and then you go. So you have to be chewing and then your DPS is good.
Talent let you bypass the
That's how
ability
you power
global
gun weave.
cooldown, meaning every other attack could be 2 abilities at the same time. All you had to do is respec into Unholy and get the improved Unholy Presence talent, and to then make sure you swap back into Unholy Presence. After doing this, you needed an item which was considered a container, and the easiest at the time and most readily available to farm were clams. There were hundreds on the auction house which had close to no value, and you could go grind low level murlocs fast as well, making this a really good choice. And it was that simple. With the bug talent activated, after using an ability you open a clam and your GCD would reset, allowing you to instantly fire off a second ability. It goes without saying that this was a significant DPS increase and led to DKs being even more degenerate than they already are. Okay, those are the 2 techniques. Which one is real? Which one is fake? Well, as much as I love the name, I hate to say it, but clam weaving was never real. It was some prime bait which got the classic min-maxers testing this theory for hours after it was released, though it has led to the word weave.
It was real to me. It was real to me, damn it. It was real to me, damn it.
Being used in pretty much every scenario that involves min-maxing nowadays. The Fire Warrior though was completely real. Warriors were actually using fiery weapon and equipping some sketchy looking classic gloves to boost their deep wounds damage, and Blizzard didn't like that one bit, nerfing the interaction literally within 24 hours after it went public. It just goes to show, it's an old game, but new things are always being uncovered. Now, a classic min-maxing vid I did not so long ago had a pretty lengthy bit on feral druids and all the weird interactions they had in Classic and TBC, and I thought with the wrath changes that would be it for ferals doing strange stuff, and I thought wrong. As it turns out, feral enjoyers have found arguably even more ways to min-max this particular class and spec in Wrath than ever before. We need to start with bear weaving. Yes, be prepared to see the word weaving a lot. After clam weaving, it was just too memeable. So, bear weaving, what is it? What's the benefit? Well, one of the changes made to druids from TBC to Wrath was on energy. Now it goes up gradually instead of by 20 every 2 seconds. The Fura talent was also changed so you retain energy upon entering cat instead of gaining it. In other words, your energy bar is always going up whether or not you are in cat form, and you can shift into cat and use it whenever you want. The idea behind bear weaving is that you either A, have spent all your energy in cat, or B, have a period of downtime in your rotation where you are just auto attacking. During this time you can shift into bear, start stacking lacerate, mauling, and just generally pressing some buttons. Then you can go back into cat when you need to refresh buffs or debuffs and repeat. And yes, it is actually a decent DPS gain.
Playing feral druid is like getting a job, getting a shitty piece of shit minimum wage job when you turn 18, trying really hard every day, showing up early, staying late, really going above and beyond, never getting a raise, even though you've worked there for 65 years, you retire and then die. Well, you never retire, you die. You don't retire and then you die. So you try really hard, you make minimum wage and then you die. That's like the real life equivalent of being a feral druid DPSer. It's like why? Just why?
Some of the top feral druid logs, efficient bear weaving during a full tier 7 clear added up to some 10% of the total damage. If you could gain 10% more damage on your main, you probably would too, right? Now, if you're already bear weaving, of course, you also should be snake weaving. Goes without saying, really. May as well go all the way with min-maxing. It turns out when you summon a companion pet, it resets your swing timer. So when you enter bear form and your swing timer changes, you can force reset it for an instant attack, allowing you to maul earlier. Small optimization, but a relevant one. Apparently this also works through weapon swapping to a fast dagger, or even drinking a noggin fogger elixir, but snake weaving sounds more memeable, so I guess that's why we've gone with that. And if we're bear weaving and snake weaving, we should of course be idle weaving as well. Did you know that you can swap idols during combat? Well, now you do, and optimally you want this idol for when you apply a new rip, and then swapping back to this one for shredding and combo point generation. But all of that is for single targeting.
Well, okay, can't you just macro that? Like, who cares? Like, so with this, you can just make a macro. So you don't even really have to think about that. Yeah, who cares?
Counters. We need to make the most of things on AoE too. Is there anything that we can do here? Yes, yes there is, and it is called flower shifting. So another change made to talents during Wrath was to Omen of Clarity, becoming a passive effect that has a chance to make your next spell free. On top of this, feral cats now gain a swipe at level 75, allowing them to be relevant on AoE. And though swipe is spammable, it costs a lot of energy, which is a bit of a problem. But it turns out that AoE spells still have a chance to proc Omen of Clarity, albeit at a reduced rate. So after you spend all your energy on swipe, you want to go out of cat form and start spamming Gift of the Wild to force proc Omen of Clarity, and then go back into cat and get that free swipe off. And it's just really that easy. Feral Druids are just doing Feral Druid stuff for the 3rd expansion in a row. Okay, we need to move on from Druids though. I've got a few more points to cover. Let's start with Helm Slurping. Yes, this fantastic name is what the community decided to agree on for this. Bit of an
Bro, dude, I taught your mom how to helm slurp. You wouldn't even fucking believe it. You wouldn't even believe it, man.
update. It got nerfed within 24 hours of becoming widespread knowledge. In fact, I was so sure it was going to get nerfed after I first saw it, I went and got footage of it as soon as possible so I can show you in real time exactly how it worked. But just for the fun of what was possible, let's go over exactly how the interaction happened. So, beaming Earthsiege Diamond is a meta gem that gives you plus 2% bonus mana. Not a huge deal, just seems okay. But it wasn't just giving 2% bonus mana. Each time you equipped a new helm with this meta gem on, or just activated it, it instantly restored 2% of your maximum mana, and it was spammable. You can get 2 helms with this in and spam a macro to swap between the 2 helms and never have to stop and drink in raids between trash packs ever again. It's actually very powerful on speedruns. You can go from 0 to 100% mana whilst moving in a little over 10 seconds. Just remember to swap back to your actual helm with a proper meta gem before boss fights. Because of course you can't swap helms in combat, but you can swap weapons, and weapons have gem sockets, which gives us 2 options to optimize our helm slurping. Number 1 is replacing the meta gem in your helm during combat, which is something you can do, bizarrely enough. Doing this is literally infinite mana, but you're going to also need infinite gold to go with it, because each meta gem you put in is going to destroy the old one. The other way, depending on your class of course, is to swap in a weapon or a wand that has a gem in that will activate the meta gem. So as you can see here on Beaming Earthsiege Diamond, it needs 2 reds and 1 orange to work. So if you have 2 reds normally and 0 oranges, and then find a wand or a weapon with a
you can just do the weapon swap. Gem
socket and swap between that weapon and a different one. It will activate the meta gem every single time you do. On Priest, for example, this meant they had a pretty straightforward way to ensure that they literally never go oom. Of course, this is a lot cheaper than swapping your meta gem repeatedly during combat, but not every single class can do this. But as mentioned, as you can probably see why now, it was nerfed pretty fast. Now to end off, I've got a few random class optimizations which don't really fit too cleanly into one single category. Rogues are the best AoE class in the game, it turns out, and the more trash that is pulled, the harder they scale. I've seen rogues with certain combinations of weapons peak just over 40,000 DPS when pulling most of the trash together at the start of the Spider Wing. How are they doing it then? Well, Rogue's new spell, Fan of Knives, gains a bonus when using daggers compared to regular weapons. This was done so Fan is about equal between assassination and combat builds. Also, instant poison has changed to be a proc per minute effect, which means it's going to scale less or more depending on how fast your weapon is. So a fast weapon will have a lower chance to proc and a slower one will have a higher chance. Titan Steel Spellblade is in a strange spot of being a 2.5 weapon speed dagger. This speed is unique and gives it much.
Does this have to do with why rogues are farming Fellstriker? There was like a couple days where every rogue I knew was farming a goddamn Fellstriker in Upper Blackrock Spire.
Much better odds at proc per minute effects. So a rogue spamming Fan with this on is A, gaining the bonus damage from using Fan with a dagger on top of the higher chance to proc instant poisons when they do, which in of itself is a pretty good interaction, but we can take this a lot further. Rod of the Sun King that drops from Kael'thas in Tempest Keep gives melee attacks a chance to restore 5 energy. Fan of Knives is of course a melee attack. I couldn't find any accurate update on the proc chance, unfortunately, but hit enough mobs and you're going to be getting back a lot of energy. The alternative and the better option is Fell Striker from Rend Blackhand in Upper Black Rock Spire. This is the big item that you want.
Okay, hold up. Hold up. Bro, dude, all of these, it's all these, I was looking for rogues. Do you see these Death Knight bots, man? What the fuck? What in the fuck is this? Okay, rogue. Yeah, look at these guys. Look at these guys. Hold it. It's not gonna drop. It's never gonna drop, dude. It's not gonna drop.
To go and farm. It will near insta-proc on a large pack, and it will guarantee that all your attacks crit. Rogues also in the assassination tree have a talent called Focused Attacks that refunds energy when they crit. So rogues are able to crit every single attack and keep full energy, meaning they can spam Fan of Knives non-stop. No class in the game comes even close to what a Fell Striker rogue can do on AoE. So yeah, if you're a rogue main, go farm your spell damage dagger and your level 60 dagger for your Biss on AoE. In fact, it's not just rogues using Titan Steel Spellblade either. Enhancement Shamans are playing a Spellhance build that leans way more into dealing fire damage instead of using Wind Fury. Ooh. Now, there is a better main hand option in Naxxramas, but a slower weapon is desirable, as Flame Tongue's weapon damage scales with your weapon's speed. This variation doesn't really change up anything too dramatically.
Dude, like, does anyone else not do any of this sweaty ass shit and then still get 99s? Do we have any meta defying Giga Chads that don't even know about this shit and then still pump 99s anyway? You can't? Well, I mean, like, okay, I'm a Warlock, so I guess none of this stuff has been for Warlock, but I don't know. You still can. The difference between a top, like a top end 99 and a bottom end 99 is really substantial. Really substantial.
It's just that, at least for the time being, it's beating out more traditional Wind Fury damage on the meters. And in case you're worried that these strange interactions might get nerfed, we've seen what happened with Helm Slurping and with the Fire Warrior. Blizzard knows when players are using some creative game mechanics, and they've decided to leave it in, at least for the time being. Final mention has to go to Unholy Death Knights in Wrath. It turns out that all your cooldowns resetting each boss, and with proper snapshotting on Gargoyle, has led to some rather unbelievably good results. Snapshotting being, in short, waiting until you have as many.
I gotta show this real quick. Do I have Warcraft logs? Look at this. Boss damage, DPS. Okay, so you're seeing Affliction Warlocks up here, and you're seeing Death Knights. It's like Affliction Locks and Death Knights. All of these. Oh, bro, actually, we took it back. USA, baby. The #1 DPS in the world is a USA red, white, and blue-blooded patriot American. Fuck yeah, brother. My point was gonna be that, like, there's no Americans or Europeans. It's all fucking Asians. CN, EU Gehennis, Taiwan, China, Korea. Out of the top 20 DPS in the world, 6 are from EU/NA. Chinese players own, bro. The Chinese are literally butt fucking us. That we are getting dominated by the Chinese. The Chinese own. We need to do something about this. The CCP is rising up, bro.
And beneficial effects active as possible before you use an ability, and then that ability will retain those effects for its full duration. As of today, the top Unholy Death Knight passes in the world on Patchwork are starting to go over the 10k mark already.
Show me Patchwork. Let me go to Patchwork, because this video is a couple days old. It's a raise, and yeah, there's 3 DPS over 10k. Holy fuck! And the fight is like pretty long actually. Still 142. I was gonna say, you know, if it's like a 45-second fight, you know, 10k DPS, whatever. But no, it's almost 2 minutes. That's 10k DPS for just about 2 minutes straight. That is crazy. Look at Noth. Okay, let me look at Noth here. Holy 12k DPS, 12.2k. Yep, insane, absolutely insane. Who is the probably like Anub? Anub is really fast. 44 seconds, 14.5k DPS. Holy shit. Holy shit, that is fucking insane. A noob. Surely a noob.
And they aren't doing anything specifically to game breaking, it's just their summon gargoyle is getting so many different haste effects, they're doing unreal amounts of damage. Here's one of the top logs in the world where an Unholy DK's gargoyle contributed the most towards their overall damage on patchwork, getting off 63 casts within its 30-second duration. I'm not sure there's another ability in the game with the push of one button that can contribute over 200,000 damage in one cast. Haste effects such as Bloodlust, Troll Racial Berserking, Potion, Meteorite Whetstone from Utgar Pinnacle, Engineering Gloves, Black Magic, and a haste proc from a meta gem during the opener are leading to some pretty unreal results. Oh, and these DKs are dual wielding and aren't even taking Scourge Strike in the talent tree either. It's completely different from what Unholy was originally. And as gear improves and fights get shorter, Unholy is going to get even further ahead from where they are at the moment. Anyways, who would have thought Wrath would see this many new discoveries? There may still be more out there that's yet to be discovered, so watch this space because researching and putting together videos on
no, we probably have discovered everything. No, that was the take of the Warmane private server players. I remember having like arguments about this in my chat just like 2 or 3 months ago. Like the Warmane guys were like, yeah, no, we've theory crafted everything. Everything has been figured out. No, we did it on Warmane. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, I mean, when Vanilla came out, when TBC came out, now when Wrath has come out, there's always weird shit that people figure out that, and like at a minimum, there's just differences between private servers and Classic WoW, like a bug or an issue or an exploit, whatever that you could do here, you might not be able to do there, or vice versa. So yeah, good video. Let me upvote that video. That's a good one.